Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of Friday Night Figures. I'm Jhops, and I'm here with my blood brother, fellow otaku.
Hey Hops.
The authority is the cameraman, and today we're talking about Trigun. Let me start out with this. This is my collection. Over here we have 2 volumes of the original Trigun manga. It's where it all started, isn't it, Hops?
Yes, it is. Those are the original 2 volumes, the only 2 volumes in the series.
Beautiful. So you see volumes 1 and 2. We're going to move down the line. I have volumes 1 and 14, the first and last. I have everything in between, but to make it easier, I just brought these 2 of Trigun Maximum. Hey Hops, what is Trigun Maximum?
Trigun Maximum is an expansion on the original Trigun story, which goes into a little more depth, fleshes out a few more characters, and gets a little more interesting.
Beautiful. And as I showed in the teaser last week, I also had the complete anime series for Trigun and the feature film that came out several years ago, Trigun, Badlands Rumble.
The artwork is rather beautiful.
So who's the guy with the cross?
The gentleman with the cross is
Wolfwood, one of your favorite characters, if I remember correctly.
At one point, we were talking about cosplaying as Vash and Wolfwood, and that may happen one day.
Yeah, because I was supposed to have a cosplay wedding, right?
Something like
Correct.
that.
That's what we were hoping.
Many of these items can be found at theanimecornerstore.com, Robert's Anime Corner Store, the only place to find manga, anime, and figures. And that's why we're here tonight, folks. Today, we're going to do an unboxing of Vash the Stampede.
Let's get these out of the way. Go ahead and grab that there. Keep these in a nice neat pile over here.
Ladies and gentlemen, today, from the Badlands Rumble feature film of Trigun, we have Vash the Stampede, the Gunman in Black. This is a 1/8 scale Artifacts Kotobukiya figure, and gosh, we talked about it last week. I'm excited. So, I'm going to get this box opened up as delicately as possible. Hey Hops, why don't you tell the fans about Trigun?
Trigun is somewhere between Western and outer space adventure. If you're a fan of shows such as Cowboy Bebop, you're really going to love this one. It follows the adventures of Vash the Stampede, the $20 billion man, double billion-dollar man. In any case, he's very wanted, and it entails his adventures wandering around and the 2 agents who follow him as he tries to discover the past that he's forgotten.
Remember folks, this is the first brand new figure I have purchased in a very long time, so I'm extremely excited. Now, let's check out the box. I got the figure slid out. Now we have the beautiful window here. There's a lot of artwork on this. There's a lot of detail put into this that I really enjoy. I really enjoy the side artwork. It shows Vash holding his gun, angled back, poised, ready to fire. The other side has a really cool effect. It has the bullet holes riddled in, kind of like Leafa from last week, where she had the vines going across the box. Kotobukiya is known for, having that nice detail on the box.
They have some really awesome box artwork. It's very impressive.
We have the top, and for those of you who need to see it, we have the bottom. One final note, we have the back, which shows Vash in detail, several poses, kind of shows it all around, kind of brings it all together. But we're not here to talk about the box. We're here to talk about Vash the Stampede. So, let me find the tape that's holding them together here.
As delicately as possible.
I don't think we need to utilize the blade, folks. I think I'm just going to very carefully peel and turn.
Well, in any case, it's well packaged.
And, I give Kotobukiya credit. I don't think we run into a figure of theirs that has been poorly packaged.
And it's something I've noticed with all of my Kotobukiya figures. Their boxing, their packaging is always spot on and always A+. I've never had a problem with a product from them. Their quality control is very, very good.
Plus it came to you safe and sound from Robert's Anime Corner Store, right?
packing peanuts, bubble wrap, the whole 9 yards. Just like 2 or 3 of our other videos, we kind of put them over. They do a really, really nice job.
Well, it looks like we got a lot going on here, folks, but let's talk about this. Who is this little guy? There's some small, chibi, angry figure here, and by gosh, I feel like I recognize it. Hey, Jhops, who is this?
His name is Yasuhiro Naito. He is actually the creator of the original manga, and he is embodied in this tiny, adorable, angry little chibi figure that came along with.
Epic.
Seems to be a simple little base. It's got his name around it. Got him making an angry face.
As I'm watching you take this figure out of the box, Jared, all I'm thinking to myself is, why didn't I buy one? Because it's a tremendous figure. I can see certain details of it from here, and that's how awesome it is.
And it's really funny that he mentions that, because originally he's like, hey, there's a Vash the Stampede figure, it looks pretty cool, and there was a deal going on at the moment. So I was like, yeah, I'll go look at it. I pull it up on the website. I have to buy this. So yes, maybe it was an impulse buy, but it was beautiful.
Now, is that posable, or is that pre-posed one solid piece?
Let's take a look at that. This appears to be pre-posed and solid, folks.
Awesome.
But oh my gosh, just the feel of this figure. And there's a couple of really interesting things I'd like to talk about. I noticed they sent along ahead with his original yellow hair. I mean, that's amazing, because they have him. Normally, Vash the Stampede has a red trench coat. In Badlands Rumble, he changes up a bit when he gets powered up, and I mean, this is just amazing. Folks, I don't know where to even begin. We're going to set him on the stand, we're going to put everything together, and then we're going to start from head to toe. We're going to talk about him.
Pins go all the way through. It's a solid base.
Well, at least it's not as bad as the wings were on Leafa last week. Proceeds to spend 4.5 minutes attempting to put the wings on a figure.
Somehow I felt that was going to get brought up today.
I fought a lot of trolls last week, if you know what I mean.
Okay, folks, there's a couple things we're going to do here. While Jhops takes this out of the packaging, I'm going to put on his gun, or give him his gun, I should say.
Now, does Vash the Stampede have one gun, or does he have 2 guns?
Vash the Stampede only has one gun. I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called, though.
Okay.
And this is really cool and extremely delicate. They have his signature sunglasses, which, I mean, is just amazing.
Oh, wow. Those are very detailed.
But they're very delicate. So, folks, I'm going to extremely carefully. Actually, if he can zoom in on that, look at that. Look.
The zigzag design is trademark.
Check that out.
For sure.
That's very cool.
Isn't that amazing?
And this is taped extremely well.
And I understand why they did not have that, preset onto his head, is because he came with the multiple heads. Alright, I think that's where it's supposed to. Oh my god. It is. This is one of the coolest figures, folks, I have ever seen. Now, Authority's going to give you a quick rundown, and then Jhops and I are going to go from head to toe.
I'd like to go with the original hair color. That's also an option.
Yeah, the exact same. Oh, wow, look at that. Also comes with the original hair color that can be transferred over.
Oh man, that's sick. I've actually never seen Trigun myself, guys, so if you guys have a chance, take a moment to kind of look over his face and look over the detailing on him and tell me how accurate of a recreation this figure is from the shelf. Because whenever I get a figure, first thing I look at is how close to the character in the show it's from is this figure actually.
Well, I'm personally used to the red, but it's still the exact same trench coat. Traditionally it's red. His powered up version is the blue and the black, so it's still the same trench coat, still the same armor on his leggings, the belts, and all the detailing. It's just, I'm blown away. So guys, let's do this. Head to toe. Start from the head, we got his silver hair. It's extremely well detailed. It's his traditional spiked back, but even the spikes have the detail that try to make it look like more traditional hair. His bangs look really, really neat. Having a male figure, his eyebrows are actually on. We've had several figures in the past that have not. I can see the detail in on that, squinted. The detailing on the eyes is gorgeous. The nose is extremely detailed. If you notice, it actually protrudes out quite a ways. And I mean, it looks extremely realistic. The ears are well detailed, and again, that whole thing I have, you know, with plastic, it's not a solid ear. It's not a solid plastic ear. It's actually detailed to look like a real ear. And I'm going to turn it here so you guys can see that.
The earrings are even on there in detail.
Oh my gosh, he's even got the earrings. The mouth is even detailed. I can actually see his teeth because his mouth is actually slightly open. That's amazing.
It's extremely detailed. It's absolutely accurate to his portrayal in both the manga and the anime. This figure's spot on.
Spot on. From his head, we're going to move over to the gun. Now, the gun is kind of resembling the energy flowing through him, so you kind of see this blue lightning, and you actually can see the detail on his arm, on his sleeve, moving down. The gun is fairly well detailed. This is more of a solid plastic piece, though. Looking at it, it's good, but I feel like the gun could be detailed a little more. But then you move on to the hand. I mean, we've talked about it in the past. Hand, I can see fingernails. The glove is well detailed, and again, it's raised plastic. So it actually looks like there's a glove on his hand. Authority, you have a comment.
At the rear of the figure, I want you to turn the figure from the rear, turn it to your right. Just turn it other way, because I want to see the other side of his hand.
Absolutely.
There, that's what I'm looking for. There's the good shot right there.
There we go. So you can see the energy,
man.
you can see his hand, but I mean, look at the detailing of the glove.
That pistol, that revolver is even kind of transparent as the energy flows through it there.
Yes, it is.
That's pretty awesome. The glove's really good too.
The sleeve is actually really well done. It's hollowed out to kind of resemble that the jacket, you know, is real. It's not just solid. Start moving down here. We're moving down the arm. The arm has some good detailing. I can see where his elbow is because you can see the creases in the arm.
Yep.
And then moving down to his other hand here, you can see the detailing in the shoulder and the arm. I mean, it's raised. He's a really cool but dynamic character, especially with what he wears. So you can see the belts, you can see the kind of bracer he has on, and this is a fully involved glove, and you can see that his hands kind of outstretched. So you see it's not just solid fingers, they're all separate. I mean, that's a really cool detail that I appreciate. Bring it back to the front. Let's take a look at his trench coat as a whole. So we've got him in kind of this action pose. So you see that the trench coat is actually flowing. So when I show you guys the back, see that it's actually flowing back so that the energy is all being directed out through his gun. And everything's kind of getting pulled back. I mean, it's a gorgeous pose. The trench coat, I'm really enjoying the detailing, but there's some things I want to take a look at here. So I'm going to kind of turn him. And actually the underside is just as detailed as the top side.
Turn it around so they can look.
The detailing on this, the front piece, the button piece is amazing, but there is also, he's got these belts that run on his back that are very detailed, and how it feels to the touch, folks. This whole figure has a really dynamic feel. This non-gloss plastic feels very different from this gloss plastic. I mean, I love it. The detailing is superb.
You can even see like the tips and the cuts and the tears in the trench coat here. They're very, like you were saying, you use the word dynamic, and I think that's an appropriate word for this figure. I think it's an appropriate word for Vash the Stampede in general.
He's a very dynamic individual. Moving down, I mean, his leggings are similar to the left arm, as they have all the belting, a lot of the metal. He's got these epic shin guards. He's got these awesome knee pads. I mean, just looking at the detail. And then we get down to his shoes. Guys, let's talk shoes. I mean, that's a man's boot right there. Look at that. Steel tipped. You got the 3 bolts sticking out of it. You've got heel guards. I mean, the detailing on this is just gorgeous. I can actually see, take a look at his knee pad. I don't know if you guys can see it, but on the 4 corners of the knee pad, it looks like there are flathead screws pushed through it. I can actually see the slit of the flathead.
That's awesome.
That's just amazing. And same for the bolts on his heel guard. I can see a slight sliver. I can see what looks like bolts in the metal plates on the belt. I mean, that's some insane detail. And of course, there are scratch marks and damage to his armor, and that is even shown on the shin guards. You can see that there's damage, because of course Vash is a warrior of sorts, gets into a lot of battles.
He's a rough and tumble guy, you know what we're saying.
He's a rough and tumble kind of goofball.
One more thing I noticed, I know we've been talking about this when we talk about shoes, Jared. Look at the bottom of his shoes, about the sole of his boot. It's actually got those cuts, like the tread on the bottom of his boots. You can actually see the tread. And I know because we were talking about that with, I want to say it was the Ichika Takatsuki figure that we reviewed by Griffin.
It was.
It was just a flat sole. There was no cuts or tread at all. And that's very interesting detail, and something that you could tell Kotobukiya really prides himself in is that accuracy.
Guys, yeah, he has tread on his boots. And, of course, the stand. I mean, take a look at the stand it came on. On it says Trigun, Badlands Rumble, but look at, again, how dynamic the stand is. The stand is built to encompass him in his braced stance, but it also has that kind of damaged, bullet-ridden look that Vash the Stampede himself has. I mean, the stand goes extremely well with the figure. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's amazing. It is amazing.
So Jared, if you had to give this figure a rating 1 to 10, like you and I do every week, what do you think? Fandom aside, love for the series aside, tell me about the figure first, and then give me an overall.
Well, the first thing I want to say is I purchased this from the AnimeCornerStore.com, the only place to get your favorite anime figures. And they have it listed for what I believe was $89.99. I was able to get it on special, which was an awesome opportunity. Definitely keep your eye out for it, but definitely check on their other figures. They do some really cool deals fairly frequently, and it's definitely worth checking out, folks. I'm trying to look for any defects in this figure. I'm trying to look for paint splotches. I'm trying to look for, that misplaced plastic that we've seen in other figures. I gotta be honest though, I'm not finding any, flaws. Oh wow. There are belt holes in these belts.
Mm-hmm. Even on the inside. There is no angle. You can look at this figure from any angle, no matter where you look, it's detailed. Right down to the pants where it goes between his jacket, on the inside, every inner area, every angle you look at this figure, it's detailed, which is just amazing. It's solid.
It is extremely hard to give a figure a 10 out of 10. And fandom, as the authority put it, fandom aside, I did notice some minor things that, kind of bothered me. I think the biggest thing, the sunglasses are an amazing addition. The gun, I honestly think we could have seen a little more detail in. But I'm not finding any flaws in the figure itself. So on our scaling, 0 to 10, I would give this a 9.5. There's no in between from there and 10. I would consider this a near perfect figure. 9.5 out of 10. That's Jhops' opinion. Hey Hops, what do you think?
It's a really good figure. It's solid. You do notice where the two types of plastic meet here. You can see that there's a clear line where it's distinct that, yes, this was a separate piece added onto that. Whether that's a big deal, I don't know. It's a line. I noticed it. Most of the other seams seem to be pretty straight. It looks natural. Again, the detail in between everything is amazing. His face, which I didn't get a good look at before, is both detailed and accurate. Even his eyebrows have that little split at the end. It's that detailed. I would say it's at least a solid 9. It's a really good figure. It's one solid piece. You know, it's very well put together. It was just very well done. I have very little bad to say about this figure.
Authority, what do you think?
9 out of 10. I've never seen the Trigun series, so it would be, unfortunately, be impossible for me to give it a 10 out of 10. And I agree with both of you. I noticed the paint, not the paint, but the seaming, a couple lines. I did notice that when we were reviewing. Also on the gun, I thought we could have done a better job with detail. But you know what? On the whole, this figure is just like Jared and Adam were saying. This is a phenomenal figure. Any fans, I believe, of the Trigun series, Trigun manga, or any of its continuations will not be disappointed if they purchase this figure. This is definitely a centerpiece that when you show it off, people are going to ask questions, and they're going to want you to tell them about it, because this is a phenomenal piece. 9 out of 10, and it's an absolutely gorgeous figure. I'll tell you what, for $90, I've seen much, much worse.
Don't forget about your little bonus.
Don't forget about the creator himself.
Kind of do like a little Stephen King there. He just shows up in all of his own stuff. Why don't you bring this one home for us, Jared?
All right, folks. This has been, for me, a special edition of Friday Night Figures. We're really glad that you watched with us, checked out Vash. I'm Jhops.
And I'm A-Hops.
And he
is the authority.
We'll catch you next week on another edition of Friday Night Figures. Thanks for watching, everyone.